Thanks for joining me today at AndrewCarsonIllustration.com. Welcome to video tutorial number 2. We're working on a charcoal rendering here. This is a timed rendering. I did this in an hour and a half. The main lesson here is to work with values objectively, to recognize light and dark values, and to understand how they work together to create form, to render your renderings. Charcoal is going to be our medium, and I want to recommend that you guys take a look at my PDF supplements and supply lists available on my website, AndrewCarsonIllustration.com, or on my Patreon site. Links available on my website. Here we go, you guys. Playing a little Peter Gabriel for you guys this time. Big Peter Gabriel fan, so. And here's our source. This came from a National Geographic calendar that Mary got. And what I did was I took this color picture and I dropped it into Photoshop and got rid of all the colors so it was just in black and white. And the reason I did that was because you can see the values a lot more clearly in black and white than you can in color. Until you've really trained your eye to look for all these values, these darks and lights, it's a good idea to use black and white source references until you know what you're looking for, and then the color's fine to use as well. Just laying in some foundation stuff here, just basic shapes. Going for values. I'm looking for all the darks and lights and trying to fill them in as best as I can. And seeing where they connect to things, that's an important thing too. Finding the darkest values, filling them in. And I'm using the reed charcoal at this point. I'm not like using the really dense stuff, but just I'm setting it up so that I can see the most prominent values that are there. I start with darks and just kind of fill them in. And then gradually they go deeper and deeper as I go. And I'm constantly assessing my source. This is really important. Be focused on the source more than what you have on the page. Be always cross-referencing, always checking. Is this right? Is this shade right? Is this part of the figure correct? Always go back and look at the source first. Be mindful of your source. Basic shapes here, setting up basic borders and edges. Applying the younger monkey there. I'm going to focus it mostly on the larger, the mama, I guess. Maybe it's a dad, I'm not really sure. It's totally okay to smudge and use your fingers to smudge the charcoal around. It's how you use this stuff. You just get those values on and smear them and smudge them around until you get the values that you're looking for. Erasing, using the eraser almost like its own brush. Seeing where those dark places connect with the lightest areas. You'll find that where it's darkest is going to be the place that you're going to see the most contrasts. So that's the lightest places as well. For the most part here, I'm still using the reed charcoals because it lifts off so easily. So it's very forgiving. You can put stuff down and decide, look at, see if it works, see if it doesn't, and change accordingly. Always be mindful of where the light's coming from and try to work with that at all times. In renderings like this, where there's a lot of value to start with, it's kind of dark, like the figure's dark. So it's okay to lay down some preliminary with the lighter charcoal just to lay down dark values, because you can take away from those values to show the lighter areas, the lighter pockets of textured light that are going through there. Now, this gorilla has a bunch of really light fur that's happening because the light is falling on it, and it's kind of wet in the photo too, so there's a great deal of contrast between the topmost hairs on the gorilla and the hair that's just underneath. So I'm creating the darker values first, and I'm going to take away but with the eraser and just keep pushing and pulling like that to create those sort of textures. taking away, adding, taking away, push and pull. You can explore, experiment a little bit. Things will happen along the way too. You'll realize, oh, this isn't in the right place. I should move this or that, and that's okay too. You can, like, I think here, I noticed, oh, the eye is not quite right. My eyes are not lined up right. So I had to move them, to shift it around, change things around to get the eye in the right spot, so that it was more true to the source as best as you can make it. Adding some darks. Now here, I'm actually adding dark texture value in the area that's going to be behind the two figures. Because then when I start adding the lighter textures on top of them, the dark is supporting the light. Rearranging the baby monkey's face. So here's an important one for you. It's a good idea when you're getting into it, when you're starting to define the edges of your figures, to work from the back forward. Work from the back forward. Try to fill in those back areas as best as you can, and gradually start working on things more and more near to the front, to the foreground of your work. If you work that way, you'll save yourself a lot of headaches and problems. And this works for sketches like this, working with charcoal. This is especially important with painting, because painting is even more meticulous. But it's generally a good rule of thumb. Work from the back forward. Now, at this point in this process, now I'm starting to work with denser, darker charcoal. So this, I have to be a little bit more careful because it doesn't come off as easily. I'm looking for those deeper pockets, and I'm going back and forth. You can see I'm using the Willow recharcoals too. Switching it up now. I'm using the darks as well, and blending with the lighter ones too as I get more and more into it. And I'm using a white charcoal to accent those brightest places as best as I can. You'll find that the more you pay attention to those darkest little pockets of shadow and the brightest little pockets of light, that's really where your painting, or rather in this case your rendering, really pops off the page because of that. Layer by layer, it just gets more and more meticulous and more detail oriented. Like in the beginning of this process, it was all very broad strokes and general lines getting set out, and then it was just about getting rid of those lines and creating the value differences. Layer by layer, it just becomes more and more detailed. We just start noticing deeper little pockets of shadow and light all the way throughout it. Here I'm using white charcoal once again, and you want to use this at the end of the process. The rule's kind of similar with the dense charcoal. It doesn't come off as easily, so you really got to be more sure. It's really good to use this when you want to give definition to those edges with those brightest contrasts. You'll be relying on black and white charcoal more towards the end of your renderings in general. Denser black and white charcoal, that is. So I want to reiterate that this was a timed effort, and I stuck to it. And I want to encourage all of you guys to do the same thing, to give yourselves a sense of urgency about what you're doing when you're in it, to commit fully to it, and to be undistracted. Turn off your phones, turn off the web, turn off everything except what's in front of you, and allot yourself the space to freely explore without any kind of pre-existing judgment about what it's supposed to be, where you're supposed to go with it, what it's supposed to turn into. And there you go, you guys. This is where I ended up after an hour and a half set. Two monkeys for you. There you go. Thanks so much for stopping in, you guys. We'll see you next week with the next tutorial video. Thanks for stopping in, and have a great week, everyone.